So now we have finished writing our Ansible script, and it's time to run the script to connect with our AWS server and deploy the Laravel application. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect my Ubuntu subsystem with my VS Code terminal. So I'll come up here, terminal, and I'm going to click new terminal. So VS Code can interact with any terminal which you have running. So the default terminal that VS Code displays is your PowerShell, but you cannot run Ansible on PowerShell. So I'm not going to use this. I'm going to come here. You can come here and choose the terminal you want. You can choose your Git bash if you have your Git bash running. You can choose your PowerShell, your command prompt. But when you have your subsystem running, it's going to appear here. So this is what I need. So I'm going to click my Ubuntu subsystem. And the good thing about VS Code is going to CD into the directory which you are viewing. So it has taken me into one Ansible playbook. That is the exact location that I am viewing. This particular file, this folder which we are looking at here, one Ansible playbook, is going to be open. So you don't need to CD into MNT, CD into, because if you use the Ubuntu subsystem, when it opens, it's going to take you here, and you now have to CD into different locations. You have to CD into MNT, and then you now CD. You have to CD into /MNT/C, and then you now CD. You will CD into a lot of directories before you can get to one Ansible playbook. But with VS Code, once you click terminal, it's going to open the exact location which you want to actually CD into. So that's why I said VS Code is very crucial and very effective for running Ansible scripts. So now we are in the right directory. It's just to write our Ansible playbook command and our code is going to run. For new users, you are going to have to install Ansible because the Ubuntu subsystem does not come with Ansible. So if you already have Ansible, if you've already installed Ansible previously, then that's okay. But just run. If you just downloaded the Ubuntu subsystem, you have to install Ansible just the way you can install Ansible on any other terminal. So you are going to run sudo apt install Ansible. So it's going to ask for my password. So it says Ansible is already, because I already have Ansible installed. So you can see I have the newest Ansible running. But if you don't have Ansible, you're going to have to run this command, and before you run this command, you're going to have to run the repository command, because Ansible has its own repository. So you just Google how to install Ansible, and then you will find the Ansible repository, and then you do sudo add repository, sudo apt add repository, then you put the Ansible, you run this sudo apt add repo Ansible So you will run something like this. I don't know if it's correct, but you have to run something like this to make sure that you have the Ansible repository added on your repository. You have to run this before you run this. So once you have your Ansible running, you are good to go. So now we are going to run. Okay, now to run our playbook, which we have already gone through. So before you run your playbook, you also have to run your SSH keygen, which I already ran previously. So once you run your SSH keygen and you have installed and you have placed your public IP in your host directory, I think that's all, and then you're good to go. If you are using AWS, you're going to have a key which you download from AWS, and that key is going to be in your downloads folder. So I'm going to advise that you copy that key and you place it in your Ansible folder. so you'll be able to access it anytime you want. So when you copy and paste a key, the permission changes. So when you copy a key from your download folder, and you bring it to your Ansible folder, just like I did here, you're going to have to run this code: sudo change node 400. Then you put the name of your key 5.10. So once you run this, then your key has the right permission. If you don't run this, your key is not going to be accessible. It's going to say permission denied, or permission. It's going to give you a permission error if you don't run this for your key, because your key has to be only accessible by one person, by the root user. What this line of command does, it makes your key accessible only by the root user. Once you run this, then you can run your Ansible. Command. Now this is how to run an Ansible script. You specify Ansible playbook main.yml. Main.yml is the name of your Ansible playbook that contains all your tasks, just like this here, main.yml. This Ansible script contains all my tasks. That is where all these tasks has been specified. So I specify it here, Ansible playbook. That's the first command. You write. Then you write the name of your YAML script, and then you use the -i inventory/host. -i just means interactive. So I'm saying interact with my directory called inventory, and I also go into the file called host and connect to that public IP that I have specified there. That's what this line of command is saying. So it's saying Ansible playbook is main.yml, and then my host address is specified in inventory/host, and then my user, the name that is required is Ubuntu. So my name is Ubuntu, and my public address is in this host file, and then my key --key-file. Then I'll now specify which key I am using. So it's just like you're going to open a door and you're saying, oh, my name is Ubuntu and this is my key. So that's what this block of command is saying. You don't need to ping your AWS server, you don't need to do anything, you don't need to SSH into it, you don't need to do anything. Once you just write this line of command and you run it, it's going to connect you directly to your server, and your Ansible script is going to be implemented on your server. Now I'll run this command. So the playbook is running. As you can see, this one says okay, this particular task has been performed, so it has moved to the next task. So after that, it's going to move, after this upgrade of system, it's going to move to the next task and the next task and the next task. Once this playbook finished running, and I visit this IP address, when I visit this IP address after this playbook finish running, I'm going to be able to see the Laravel app displayed there. So if I take this and I go to my browser, means nothing is going to be there. But by the time I finish running this Ansible script and I go to this particular IP, this IP that you see here is the IP which we have placed in our host. As you can see, this IP and this IP is the same thing. So you have to always make sure that the IP that is showing here is the one that you placed here. That's how you know that you're connected to the right IP. So once you visit this IP now in your browser, you should see the Laravel page displayed. But it won't be there now. Nothing is there. Nothing is on that page right now because I've not finished running the Ansible script. So thank you for staying with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. See you later.